Most people think life insurance pays only when you die. But what if life insurance can pay while you're still alive? What if you're diagnosed with cancer, heart attack, stroke? What if you're not able to work for months and instead of depleting your savings, 401ks, or other assets, you can use your life insurance to pay for that time? So today, I'm going to give you a complete overview of a life insurance with living benefits. We will cover what exactly life insurance with living benefits is, whether there are some restrictions, cost. We'll go over some examples, and then at the end, I will share my favorite companies that I will encourage you to take a look at. So at the end of the video, you will know whether life insurance with living benefits makes sense for you or is a simple marketing hype. Hi, my name is Zhaneta with One Stop Life Insurance. I have been in the insurance industry for over 2 decades and I'm really excited to share this information with you. First off, what is a life insurance with living benefits? Well, simply put, these are types of life insurance that allow you to access your death benefit while you're still alive. In other words, you do not have to die for the policy to pay out. The living benefits within the policy are often called or referred to as accelerated benefit riders, ABR for short, and essentially they allow you again to accelerate that death benefit in advance. You can do that if you are diagnosed with a qualifying medical condition. Typically, those conditions are grouped within three categories: terminal illness, chronic illness, and critical illness. Terminal illness, pretty self-explanatory. It's one of the most common conditions found in many life insurance companies' policies, and essentially means that if a licensed U.S. physician certifies that it's reasonably expected for you to pass away within the next 12 months, or 24 months, or 6 months, depending on the company and the policy plan, you are eligible to accelerate or access your death benefit while you are still alive. The other category is called chronic illness. Essentially, that means that if you are unable to perform 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, again, you are eligible to file for acceleration. And under critical illness, if you're diagnosed with a heart attack, stroke, cancer, invasive cancer with some companies, again, you are eligible to accelerate your death benefit. So, a common question we get when it comes to life insurance with living benefits is what products you can get these types of benefits under. And I want to share that you can get a life insurance with living benefits in term insurance, permanent plans, whole life insurance. Essentially, when you have that discussion with your agent and you decide which particular product type best suits your needs, then you can also look into companies that offer that product with the living benefits for an overall comprehensive protection. Now, do living benefits cost anything extra compared to plans without living benefits? This is another common question that we get, and it's a really valid concern from our clients. The living benefits within a life insurance are built into the product. With many companies, you cannot opt out of having the living benefits if you decide to go with that particular company. The one big example where living benefits may cost more is with Corebridge Financial. They have 2 products for life insurance. One of their products is called Select a Term. It does not have living benefits. The other product that they offer is quality of life, where they do offer the living benefits. And if you compare the two product prices side by side, the one with living benefits will be on average $5 to $12 more expensive comparing to the same product without the living benefits. It depends on the different clients, the age, health classification, duration, coverage amount. Are there any restrictions on how to use the amount of money or the funds you receive through accelerating your death benefit? Life insurance companies do not pose any restrictions. The money that you receive in the result of acceleration is paid directly to you. It is not paid to your health insurance. It is not paid to your hospital, health care provider. It is paid directly to you. How you use that money is totally up to you. You can pay your co-insurance that you may have. You can maybe pay your deductible, hospital stay, mortgage, rent. Maybe you want to take your family on a last memorable vacation. You can use the money for that, seek alternative treatment, whatever the case might be. There are no restrictions on how the money is spent. So now I want to turn my attention to something that is very, very important. What are the cons of life insurance with living benefits? Because as of now, you know that living benefits are available on term insurance, permanent insurance plan. They allow you to access your death benefit while you are still alive. If you're diagnosed with a qualifying medical conditions, there is a small cost comparing to products with and without living benefits factored in, but is there anything else that you should be aware of? Things that you need to make sure that you know before enter into a contract with a life insurance with living benefits. Now, the first thing is it does reduce the death benefit that will be available to your family upon passing. So let me give you an example. If you have $1 million in death benefit life insurance, you are eligible to accelerate. Maybe you suffered a stroke and you want to file for acceleration. You can do partial or the full death benefit acceleration. Whatever you do, this will ultimately reduce that $1 million, and essentially your family will receive significantly less or maybe nothing at all if you choose to accelerate the entire policy. Another thing I want to mention that life insurance companies often apply something called actuarial discount when calculating the benefit. In other words, they will take a look at your medical condition, life expectancy, and how is being affected with this new medical condition now, how likely it's for you to die pretty much in the next couple of years and for them to have to pay out the full benefit. Based on all of that, they will make you an offer, and that offer will be a discounted with that actuarial discount. In other words, if you use 100,000 of your death benefit, they will not send you a check for 100,000. It will be discounted. How much of a discount will be applied? Again, it will depend on the severity of the condition and how it's affecting your life expectancy. So another thing is when it comes to life insurance with living benefits, the accelerated benefit riders are designed to comply with the tax code. However, in some cases, some instances, they may interfere with any other benefits that you may be receiving at this point. So we would highly, highly encourage you to check maybe with a benefit coordinator, tax specialist, to make sure there's not going to be any unforeseen consequences of you accelerating the death benefit. Another thing is that we want you to be aware of when it comes to life insurance with living benefits is that you can only access them due to a medical condition. If you decide to buy a house and you need assistance with the down payment, it will not work for you. You need to be diagnosed with a qualifying medical condition within every policy, they're listed out so you know exactly which conditions qualify you for acceleration, and that would be the only way that you can accelerate your death benefit. So, just to sum up, they will reduce the death benefit, there will be actuarial discount applied. It could interfere with some benefits that you may be otherwise receiving. And in addition, you can only accelerate or access that death benefit in case of a medical event. So, what are some examples? Living benefit sounds, amazing, but does it actually work? Well, there were two case studies that were published. The first one is the story of Basim. He was an airline pilot, and as you know, pilots go through regular health checks, ensuring they're in good physical health, mental health to be able to fly planes. Well, unfortunately, he suffered a heart attack, and he needed to get a surgery. In fact, he was in that surgery room for 36 hours. So Basim was not able to work for 3.5 years following his heart attack. He was still alive, he's still with his family, but for those 3.5 years, he will have to consider how he's going to pay the mortgage, the kids' college, the lights, the food, any therapy, medical bills that the insurance didn't cover. Well, when he filed for acceleration, he was able to receive a check within like 3 weeks and then just use that money to recover financially so he can focus on recovering physically from his heart attack. This is the power of the living benefits in life insurance. And now the other example that it's always gets me very emotional, being that I'm a mother. It's the story of Ellie, who is 2.5 years old, and she was diagnosed with leukemia. Like, no child should be diagnosed with cancer at this young age. Unfortunately, she was. So she had to spend 32 days in the hospital, and luckily, her parents had purchased life insurance with living benefits on her maybe 6 to 8 months ago. So she was able to file for, or they were able to file for acceleration of her death benefit, and they receive the funds into their accounts. Now, what that money allowed them to do is for those 32 days while she was in the hospital, they could stay there with her. It wasn't like dad had to go back to work or mom had to go to work or they can take turns. No, they could just focus on their daughter. And luckily, she's doing fine and everything is great. But again, a life insurance with living benefits could allow you just to take a breath in some of those challenging moments. So, what are the companies that we would recommend for you to consider if you really want to explore the options of life insurance with living benefits? And I've compared multiple companies based on products, based on price, based on comprehensive, like how many triggers or conditions qualify you to accelerate your life insurance. And I found two that are my personal favorites. Company one, this is Corbridge Financial. Like I mentioned, they have a product without living benefits and a product with living benefits. And then the other company that I will encourage you to take a look at, this is National Life Group. Both companies are A-rated. In fact, National Life Group, I believe it's like 170 some years old. It's a mutual company, meaning it's not a stock company. They offer some of the widest, more comprehensive living benefits. Um, so it's highly encouraging to take a look at them. So I hope you're finding this helpful. Life insurance with living benefits could be just that source of money if your family needs them in the really tough hardship times. If you want to get some more information on life insurance with living benefits, or maybe you want to check if your existing plan has one, or you want us to see if you qualify, what will be the rate, simply reach out. We'll be more than happy to go over the information and answer any questions you may have. We have also created a little mini series of life insurance with living benefits where we have answered some of the most common questions we've received on the topic. We will post links for that in the description below. Again, I hope you find this helpful and I hope you have a great rest of your day.